Did I find the best 10th generation iPad keyboard and case? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. So if you watch my channel before, you know a couple things. I always kind of praise the 10th generation iPad right here, and you pair that with a MacBook Air over here, and you're gold, right? For around $1,200 for both of these combined, you can get a great environment. Now, I always tell people too that the iPad Pros usually are overkill for most people, but I know some people use them. Don't attack me. I know that people that need them, right? But for about 90% of people, I think this combination makes the perfect combination for like day-to-day work with most people's workloads. All right, so being a YouTuber, I regularly go to the coffee shop and sometimes I go to the library. Just want to get out of the house, right? But I go ahead and I write my scripts for my videos and stuff like that, and I do it usually on my MacBook Air sitting over there. So it kind of made me think, obviously I have this iPad right here. Can I do more with it? Can I actually find a keyboard that's going to be both good enough and actually cost effective? That's the key. I don't want to spend a ton of money on a keyboard for a $300 device. I don't want to spend $200 on a keyboard for a $300 device. It makes no sense to me, right? So I set out to find the best keyboard I could for the cost for the 10th generation, and I think I found it. All right, so introducing, this is actually what I found. This is the ESR, it's the Magnetic Keyboard Case right here, and it's called their Rebound Series right here. So let's take a look over here at Amazon right now. So you can see it right here. It's only $79.99 right now, and that's the normal price. It's not even on sale. It's got a 4.3 out of 5, and let me just tell you a couple things. This thing actually has, everyone loves it. The people that kind of rated this bad were people that thought it would work with the 9th generation. It needs to be the 10th generation. It might work with the 11th if the exact size is the same and stuff. But just keep that in mind. This is for the 10th generation iPad. All right. But here it is. I mean, it's really inexpensive. You can see it right here. And, obviously I'm not spending $200. So is it really good enough for me? All right, first of all, the packaging is very professional. I'll show you some pictures of that and close-ups of it. But that's not obviously what this is all about, not the packaging, right? But I know Apple people like good packaging for some reason, right? They do. All right, but I love this because of the simplicity of the device over here. And I'm going to get into why this is one of the best devices for its simplicity, but it just starts with, just the pairing of the device. So you open up the box, and I'll show you a picture. There's basically 4 steps, it says. Right on the box, you open a tab up, and instead of a long thing of directions on how to get this thing to work, it's 4 easy steps, and I had this paired within 10 seconds. So that's the first step, and that tells me it's a good product right off the bat. Where you're not, fussing with things and trying to figure things out. It's frustrating, right? Like I said, less than 10 seconds, I had this basically paired, and you go ahead and you find it, you pair it, and it works, and I've not had one issue with the pairing since. It holds, the pair basically really well, and if you turn it off and on, it pairs back within like 3 to 5 seconds. So it's a really good device in that respect. Okay, so the simplicity does not stop there, and that's why I like this so much. You don't have to put a case on your iPad down here, because then you have to take that case off and put it back on. You leave it just like this. You take your iPad, and I'll show you some close-ups, and you slap it on the back of this, and this has got 1,800 grams of holding force with the magnetic, the magnets back there, and it works perfectly. It does not sag when you actually move it around, and you can fold it up perfectly as well. But overall, it just works really well. And if I want to take my iPad back off to use it as an iPad, I don't have some weird clunky case with it or anything like that. It just comes right off, and I can use it as a normal iPad, and that's the simplicity I love about this. Now, a couple things here. They call this a floating cantilever stand, I guess. So it floats here, but you can see the back here. You can fold the back this way, and I'll show you close-ups. But that folding goes up to about 130 degrees on here, and you're only supposed to use this in landscape mode. It's not really for portrait mode, and I'll have some solutions for you in a second. So if that angle is not enough for you, or if you need to use it in portrait mode more often, I'll have another solution in the video coming up. But I just wanted to let you know this is more for a landscape mode, and the angle, you can move this up and down, but it really only goes to about 130 degrees roughly there, and that has to be enough for you on your desk. Then the case itself also does have a place to store your Apple Pencil, and I'll show you close-ups of that, or my kind of knockoff Apple Pencil that I got for $20. Works really well. Overall, though, it does have that in there, so that's just kind of a built-in feature. Okay, and also when it's folded up, and I'll show you close-ups of that as well, it's really easy to carry. It protects your iPad really well. And overall, the package is just really, it seems like high quality to me for the cost you're paying. Again, this is not a $200 device. It's under $80. And for the money, I think it's a great deal. All right, so the keyboard size itself is probably the smallest it can be, and I can still type perfectly fine. I mean, I don't miss a lot of keys or anything like that. It looks like it says it's got 1 millimeter of travel. It's got 78 keys, and all the keys are the ones you'd expect on an Apple device. But the quality there, I guess they're like scissor-like mechanisms behind them with that 1 millimeter of travel, but it allows me to type fairly quickly. Now again, if you have giant hands, obviously like a basketball player or something, this keyboard might be a little bit too small for you, as any of them would be, obviously. But the goal of this is to keep things small and light when you're traveling and stuff like that. And I think this is like the best size keyboard. It's just the right size. It's not too small, so that's one positive as well. Okay, so the keyboard also does have backlight, which is nice. It's got up to 12 different colors. You can go ahead and kind of rifle through them there. I'll show you some colors there. But overall, you can actually turn it to like a low backlight, medium backlight, and high backlight if you want to save battery and stuff, which is really good. So that's added. That's an added bonus. The trackpad, though, this is kind of where, with the trackpad and the keyboard, the cheaper keyboards, you can get some keyboards for like 30 or 40 bucks, right? Those tend to not have the best trackpads or keyboards, and this kind of excels in both of them. The trackpad here is kind of a multi-touch gesture trackpad, so like things like 3-finger and 2-finger swipes and stuff that you would do on your actual iPad work really well in here. And then obviously it's a little bit smaller, as you can see, but it's big enough for most fingers and stuff like that, and I can get real work done with this. I found that the actual, the speed of it was a little slow, so I adjusted that on the iPad, which you can do, and it fixed that perfectly for me. So overall, I would give this, really high quality for the actual trackpad. It does have a little bit of a click to it if you like that. Some people like that, some people don't. But overall, it's kind of a clicky button on it. But tend to be like, all of my gestures and stuff like that were, easily tracked on it, which I feel is something good for this price point. Now, this is a keyboard you do need to charge. It does come with a charging cable. And the thing that I found, though, and it does say it in the documentation, that it's basically like 1 year of standby with it. I think 3 months, actually, if you're using it during the day with no backlight on the keyboard. And like 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, somewhere in that range if you use the backlighting, depending on how bright it is. So you get a lot of use out of this, and it's very quick to charge it. I've had no problems. You can't charge your iPad through it, though, because it attaches magnetically and stuff like that. It's not there's no power going through there. So you got to charge your iPad separately. But overall, you get a long time from this, and it seems like it's fairly accurate. Now, the two reasons you got to make sure this is right for you, again, is this is more of a landscape mode, not portrait, and it does fold back to the 130 degrees. Now, they make another product. If you don't want either of those things, take a look over here. Here's the product we just talked about, 79 bucks. They make another product right here, $64.99. This is by ESR as well. It's called the Ascend for iPad 10th gen iPad right here, 64 bucks. But you can see in the pictures here, take a look over here. You can actually go in basically landscape and portrait, so it solves that. Now this does you have to put a case on the iPad. You can see it down there. So this is a little different where you put the case on there, and then that case attaches kind of to the stand. Where in this one over here, you don't have a case on the iPad, and it just uses magnets. So you can see the difference here. Some people like this because obviously it protects your iPad there. It comes with a free case as well. I like the color of my yellow, so I don't like that as much. This one also has a thinner. It's more of like almost like a Surface type, remember the old Surface kind of keyboards that were really thin, made out of more of a fabric. That's not out of a fabric, but it's a little bit different. This is more of a hard plastic over here. So there's some differences here. This one also gets really good reviews, 4.4. And again, this company is really good with, making all these type of technology, so I would totally trust this. This one I have not tested myself, but I just wanted to give people the option. If you're looking for something from the same company, they make, an alternative keyboard here that's going to do very, very similar stuff, but come in a different form factor. Now, a couple last things that you're going to be interested in. If you have an iPad like this, or any of the iPads, even the Pros and the Airs, this company, ESR, they make this kind of magnetic, it's called a magnetic screen protector, and it's really cool. So like, how there's screen protectors for all these devices, you can throw on something, but you usually have to put some kind of adhesive on there, and it's hard to get off and all that stuff. They do this magnetically, and I'll show you some close-ups. It comes in this like really cool sleeve and really good packaging. It actually comes with a cleaning kit as well, which is all for around $10. And take a look at the website over here. So for $10, you get this package. But what it basically is it's a screen protector that it goes on magnetically on the outside of the edges. And it's hard enough where it basically will go on without any bubbling. And on top of it, it feels like paper. So if you're a drawer or a note taker, I love this thing. You put it on there, you can take notes really easily. It's got more of a matte finish, but it's still very ultra clear to look through it. But the beauty of it is if you're taking notes, you can use it, and then you can just peel it right off, put it back in its case, and use it only when you want to. So it's not stuck on there forever. And that's a huge key here. And they're $10, like I said. So definitely check this out. This is why this company is pretty good. And then just to give you kind of the history behind them as well, just so you have some confidence in this company, here's their Amazon page, ESR. And basically you can see in here, they make a whole bunch of stuff for iPads, and they've always done this for a long time. I've done a bunch of keyboards, cases, protectors, everything like that. So even like down here, so right here they're making, look at this, this has got a really good review as well. But this is just an example. This is going to be the iPad Pro 13-inch. This is for the M4 version right now. And you can see $54, and this is going to be another really cool sliding case protector that you can get for it, where you can have your iPad at all different angles, and it's got a 4.7 out of 5, so 2,700 ratings right there, so it's obviously bought and purchased quite a bit. So they have a lot of, pedigree in this and making these type of devices. And I always just do product showcases to show people what they're all about, right? I don't do full reviews because I don't use them. I don't have them long enough. I don't do 6 months of testing. I do initial stuff. But at the end of the day, did this solve my need for my 10th gen right here? Yes. I mean, obviously now I can take my iPad wherever I want to go, to the library, to the coffee shop, or on a trip or something. I can package it up like a laptop. Now, I'm not going to probably be writing long novels. I take my Air with that. But when I want to write emails out and I want to do some shorter type content, stuff like that, this is perfect. I mean, obviously in a crunch I could write a novel, but I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice. But with everything else, it works really, really well, and it just solves a lot of issues. And I don't have to really, I can take it off and use it as an iPad anytime I want. I can put the screen protector on and magnetically take that off as well. So this whole ecosystem that they've built is really good for everything, especially with the 10th gen. But again, they make things for the Airs and the Pros and everything, and I believe even the Minis. So check out their website. I'll have links to all this in the description. So I just wanted to kind of introduce you to the product. I actually was using it as one of my personal things just because I needed one, and I wanted to share it with everybody. So I hope this kind of review helps people. Now, do your own research, like I always say. Don't always trust me. I'm one person. Do your research. But at the end of the day, it solved my issue, and it probably can solve yours as well. We'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.